Yeah, the pink headphones are back. Shalom, this is following Yahshua. Welcome again to the Rock. Got the collared shirt on. I'm looking spiffy right now. Actually, I'm just working. Continuing to get these leaves into the squash area and setting posts. Just using what I have out here, setting posts in the ground to fence it. This 7th day night, Friday night, Shabbat, me and my beloved brothers, fellow homesteaders, and men who prepare, Brother David and Brother Andre are going to have a live stream on the same way we did it last Shabbat, or last first day night. And we're going to talk about what now? What now? What do we do now? A lot of this theatrics have gone away, and we are now faced with what is coming. I know a lot of people are extremely excited about these stimulus checks that are being issued. And I just want, for myself, I just want to give you an idea of where this is going to go. Universal basic income, hyperinflation. And many of you who say you are of this faith in Israel, you are going to be placed in some very compromising positions. What do I mean by that? Well, with universal basic income, if you know anything, if you've raised in the hood or anything like that, or even areas out here, the sticks, where you have low, people, a lot of people have low incomes, and in one way or another are heavily dependent on the system. Now, the difference out here is people will have gardens. They'll have food stamps, but they'll still have gardens. In the hoods, a lot of people don't have gardens. Food is let me just say the hood, the reservation, just the reservation, not even the hood. Because the reservation could be a large city, major city, where you have just a lot of people, and it could be people of any and all colors. But out here, people have gardens. They'll plant food. They'll plant turnips or radishes or lettuces or collard greens. A lot of the orders that I am filling right now are people ordering things that are easy to grow, like collards, Swiss chards, mustards. People like the pink banana squash, pink jumbo banana squash. So if you're looking for seeds, again, I have my email address in the comment section. Feel free to shoot me an email. I'll let you know what seeds I have. But back to the video. People don't really grow gardens out there. So what's happening is a transition is taking place, and universal basic income, I believe, is really on its way here. I don't believe that this is going to be standalone stimulus checks. This is going to be a reoccurring thing as the economy continues to take a nosedive. Now, if you've ever done anything, been on food stamps or cash aid, you know that they have requirements that you must meet, whether you're a single mother or if there's a man in the house. But if you're a single mother, a lot of times they want your children in the system. There's certain things like Section 8, there's certain things that they want to control within you. They want to know who's in your house, essentially. I mean, they basically ask or say the only people who can stay with you are people that you have on the case or something like that. I've done some research on this, so I could bring it to y'all. But they have requirements. With universal basic income, requirements are going to come also, and who knows what they're going to be. Could it be a vaccination? Could it be your children have to go to the school system, be indoctrinated at the school system? Could it be they have to have their other shots? It doesn't. There's no telling what it could be. I read a report that said that they were looking at sending money, reoccurring payments for people's children, $300 a month for every child, like under 6 or something like that, or 8, and then $250 for children that are 8 and up, 8 to 17. They just want to hand out money. First of all, where's this money coming from? Second, it's going to get to a point where you're going to have to meet requirements to get that money. And then you're going to be faced with the dilemma of, I can't keep a roof over my head. I can't eat unless I get these reoccurring payments because my job at wherever I'm working does not pay me enough. So I have to get these payments. I have to get this money from them. But now they have requirements that are going to cause me to compromise what I believe, my faith, my belief system. And people are very adamant in saying, I won't do that, until you really get to a point where you have no other options. Because we failed to make moves. We failed to come out. We failed to be separate. We failed to do the things that have been talked about for a long time. Get a piece of land, work it hard, produce your food, produce your meat, produce your milk, produce your calories, live a simple life, be more self-sufficient, prepare, put food away, have a way and a means to protect yourself, fellowship with like-minded believers, all that stuff. Nobody wanted to hear it. And I'm telling you, these payments are likely going to continue. President Biden, has no problem scribbling on the ledger. He has no problem writing his name down. No problem, which kind of makes it kind of confusing about what, the presidency is, because one president can write a bunch of, what do you call those things? Dictates, I call them dictates. But he can write dictates and the next president comes in and just undoes his dictates and makes new ones, which makes no sense. But we're at a point, because at that point in time, if a person's doing that, they're just writing dictates. Who writes dictates? A dictator. I'm just saying. But anyways, and it always can go and be undone. Whole nother video for another time. So what is your plan? And I ask that again because it seems like all the fireworks have ended and everybody's cheering and smiling because they got $600 checks, and now it's like they're getting $1,400 checks. And now they're looking into paying people for their children so that their children can eat. They've raised the amount of food stamps that people are getting on their cards, 15%. They went to the Department of Agriculture and said, let's raise the payments. Let's send more money to the people. Meanwhile, slowly, they're making people less self-sufficient and more dependent. Dependent on them for the ability to pay your mortgage that you're never going to catch up in paying. And as that time comes, the more delays they have, the more control they have over you. The more rent moratoriums they have, the more control they have over you, because at any point in time, it reminds me of, I believe the guy's name was Aaron Russo. And he said that the whole point of this world is eventually to get everybody chipped, and if you don't do what they say, they just turn off your chip. If you don't agree with what they're giving, they just turn your chip off and cut off your ability to survive. Well, it's slowly happening in a very different way. Income. Where, how do you know? If you dissent, we just turn off your card. We just cut off your ability. We're not going to send you your UBI check. I know a lot of people are very excited about UBI, Universal Basic Income, because, wow, that's just free money. It's not. It's not. And for some of you, it could get to a point where it could cost you your soul, because you're going to have to sell it. And if you think selling your soul is a new term or a new thing, crap. Rappers have been talking about this for a long time. Tupac, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, all sorts of rappers have talked about, singers have talked about selling it for fame and for fortune, for money. But for us in this faith, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be they're not really going to cause you to sell it, or they're not going to make you sell it. They're just going to have you come to them to survive. And that's where we're headed. That's why self-sufficiency is so important. That's why I call the system daddy. And for many of you women, it's your daddy and or your husband. It covers you. And our future generations are going to be the ones paying for it. Our future generations. Us, today. Be careful with this universal basic income. If you are getting a stimulus check, I will say what I've said before. Spend it wisely. Spend it wisely. Invest in yourself, invest in a skill, invest in some sort of way to make it. Because one thing that I have learned is that free money is not free. And the more they give and the more people become dependent on them giving to eat and to house themselves and to clothe themselves. You know what the Bible says, that a man's supposed to provide for his wife food, clothing, or covering, conjugal rights. The system wants to do that. They want to give you the food via food stamps and universal basic income. They want to give you the covering because unless they give you the finances, you can't pay for your covering, you can't pay for clothing. You have to watch slowly how this is taking place. They're trying to get Israel, Yah's people, to go back to Pithom and Ramses to help Egypt build those cities. Meanwhile, they're going to own you. Come out of her and get away from the distractions and be separate. Become self-sufficient. Develop real relationships. Come out of these damn reservations. Bless you. Shalom.